And now we're going to build our first macro. Going back to those steps, we're going to walk through each one of these, but this is such a simple example, it'll probably be overkill, but it'll give you the idea of how this works. First of all, let's plan out what we want to accomplish. Well, we want to show 3 different images, 200 milliseconds apart, and then we want to display instructions at the beginning for 5 seconds. Okay, so how do we do this manually then? How do we set this up? All right, we'd select the 3 different images and then write up instructions in a text editor. Pretty simple. And then just display it all. Okay, let's list them in sequence. We're going to select the 3 different images, arrange them in an image viewer. Again, this is manually. Display each image using an arrow key, for example, and then have the subject read the instructions. Now let's make corrections. Here's what we have so far, but it would make more sense to have the subject read the instructions first. So let's swap those. All right, now it looks good. With all that done, let's create the macro. Now macros you can access from the Preferences area. There's the tab for it. Or from the toolbar. So let's create our first macro. We're going to call it M1. First thing we need to do is load our media files. So I'm going to go back up to the documents where my media files are. And then I'll drill back down. We're going to go to the Stroop slides. First of all, grab our instructions. And let's import the other images. Select them all. Okay, we've got everything. Now we can start using them. So going to Image and Media, let's grab our instructions and simply add that as a first step. Let's add a delay in there of 5 seconds. Add that. And let's go get our first image of the 3. Add it. Now we need to put a delay of 200 milliseconds in there. Same procedure. And finally, our third one. And there's the macro. So now let's test it. Simply click the macro in the toolbar. And it runs. Now let's make any adjustments. Now if we wanted to change the time, we could do that, do update, or even remove it. And if you want to adjust things on the right here, you can move them up and you can move them down. This seems to be all right though. So now you can save it. Now when you save the file, it is all saved, but you can also export it out. You give it a name. It's an iWorx macro file. And then it can be imported to bring it into the file. And finally, there's Use It, and I leave that up to you.